the greatest thing ever happened today in the universe of ever. Okay, not really, but in the universe of NWSL, because Gotham beat Kansas City. Oh my gosh. 8th seed beat the 1st. Oh my gosh. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. There's a lot of screaming today, but I'm speechless now. When Kansas City scored, there was a lot of cursing involved. There was a lot of F-bombs, a lot of sadness, and then it turned into happiness. So it was okay.
But how is it going? Yes, Sara is we're both excited, but after the game, I feel bad for Kansas City because
they lost at home. It's nothing sadder than that. Ted Lasso cast was there. Weird Al was there. Yeah. I think that was the most important person.
Yeah. There's some, they had a great crew there. And, they don't lose at home. Lila Bonta one time did an interview saying, we just don't lose at home. But they did, we're going to talk about some other games, but the quarterfinals for the NWSL playoffs are done. We now have our semifinalists. 8 teams have gone down to 4. And I guess the Gotham match was the one Sara and I were most closely monitoring. Because remember what I had said, if I was a betting person, I would not bet on Gotham. I would have lost a lot of money because I really, to go in there in Kansas City. I didn't realize this. We know Chawinga wasn't playing, but I didn't realize Michelle Cooper wasn't playing. She was injured. And that makes a big difference too.
Yeah. I delusionally thought that we were going to win today, and we did, so wished it into existence.
And also going in, Ester had been injured. We knew she had been injured. She was available to play today. However, she didn't play today. But what a game. And also, out of the 4 games, 3 of them going to extra time with 1 going to PK shootouts. I loved it. So a lot of soccer going on. In the final, I guess we'll talk a little bit about, we're not really going to talk too much about it other than they won, but Jaden Shaw, beautiful goal in the 66th minute, and that looked like it was going to be the game winner up until Kansas City scored in the 90th plus 6 minute, and
oh my god,
that was like a gut punch to all Gotham fans because it looked like we had it. The impossible was going to become possible. Oh my goodness. And when they scored, I thought, okay, this is maybe what I thought was going to happen. They always find a way to win Kansas City.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go to PKs. I'm so glad it didn't. I do love my PKs, but woof.
And then up until the 120th plus 1 minute, Sara, with 1 minute left to spare practically,
she redeemed herself.
Yeah, because a few people thought it was her kind of flub, her and AKB's flub. At
least they flubbed together. That's teamwork.
That led to that goal, the Kansas City goal. But in the 120th plus 1 minute, the goal scorer herself, remember, she scored that goal the year they won the championship. And Katie Stengel scored a beautiful, the ball couldn't have been placed in a better position to where the goalie had no chance at it. So that was the final score. I couldn't believe it. We were so excited. AKB made some really, really, really quality saves. There was a few where, now she might have had a line of a bobble where the ball went in, but she had some really good saves. So I'm just excited for Gotham. And last time they won the championship, they were the 8th seed going into the playoffs. So is this their year again? They took down the team everyone thought was going to win. Everyone.
Yeah. AKB was practically in the other goal, she always a mile, down the field.
This game, actually, we're going to move on. We're not going to go in order here, but the game, Louisville versus Washington Spirit. Now, that was a very similar game to this game because it was a last-minute goal because it looked like Washington was going to win. Washington Spirit in the 73rd minute scored, and they were leading up until the 90th plus 2 minutes, and Racing Louisville equalized when everyone thought it was kind of over. It was crazy. That game was actually kind of mirrored the Gotham game in a way. And that game actually went to PK shootout, and Washington Spirit won, but Aubrey Kingsbury, amazing saves. They ended up winning there. So that was an exciting game as well.
All of the games so far have been so good. Nail biters, going into extra time.
Now, another extra time game was the game that just finished not that long ago in Portland Thorns versus San Diego Wave. Now, going into this game, I was rooting for San Diego, but they were playing in Portland, and kind of controversy in this game a little bit. We're going to talk about the Arsenal game, but there was kind of a handball gate in this game as well. No scoring, regulation, no scoring, and another extra time game. Crazy. And then in the 94th minute, I think that's the way that you would say that, Raylan Turner scored the winning goal. Now, there was a possible handball that went through VAR, and they said not a handball, but a lot of people are saying that San Diego kind of got screwed on that, because even the commentators thought that was a handball. That would have been a PK.
Katya, where were you at? You were the VAR ref.
Yeah, Katya was the VAR, so she kind of decided I guess she decides if they're going to look at it on the field, but she said no. Don't even look at it on the field. I've said it's not a handball. I actually like the call. I know the commentator didn't like it. I like the call, but even though I was rooting for San Diego, but that was not the call.
I was going to say, I trust her. I trust her judgment.
But final score 1-0 Portland Thorns. And then also the very last game, which was actually the first game, was Seattle Reign versus Orlando Pride. That was probably the least exciting game in comparison to all the extra time games, but they 2-0. Marta, I think she outran like 20-year-olds. It was crazy.
She's dabbling in the brujeria. No.
Something like that. 2-0. McCutcheon in the 21st minute. And then it was really special. Marta, it was a penalty, and Marta gave it to Luana. Her story is pretty well known. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she recovered and is playing again, and she scored, I believe it was her first ever NWSL goal. She connected with that PK. I mean, I think, but everyone was rooting for her, and that was, the final score was 2-0. So that game exciting. So
it was so beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful. But those are your semifinalists. I didn't even think we were going to talk that much about it, but it was just 4 really exciting games. But what mostly this video initially was going to be about was the big Chelsea Arsenal match that happened on Saturday, because everyone knew this was going to be a big match. The way it kind of works out is it's a 6-point match. They're either going to split points, was what they ended up doing, but you're either going to be, you get what I'm saying, a 6-point match, either you're going to win 3, lose 3. And this was an exciting match, and most people are saying maybe 2 things. 1, do they need VAR? Or B, do they need to cut every ref, 90% of the refs? Because the ref in particular in this game, a lot of people are saying was not good. Because a lot of people are saying Arsenal was robbed of 2 goals. And what's so crazy, Arsenal was robbed of 2 goals, but they were given a goal that most people said was offsides. Oh, no. This was crazy. But going into the match, I mean, exciting match. If you were to just watch the highlights, there was so many exciting moments in this game. There was a lot of good saves. It was just an exciting match. Both teams, they're kind of fighting for their life. Arsenal definitely is fighting for its life. And Chelsea, they're not, actually, as of today, they're not even in first place anymore. Man City has overtaken them. But they are fighting for their life. At this point, Chelsea's not running away with the league, which is good. And for a lot of people, I think that's good. But both teams really, really wanted the win. But the good news is, in the 9th minute, Alyssa Thompson actually got her first goal.
What a beauty.
So Alyssa Thompson, beautiful goal in the 9th minute. But there was, if you were to watch sometimes you watch the highlights, there isn't many highlights there. I mean, every few minutes, it was kind of just action-packed soccer, which I love soccer like that, you know what I mean? But, okay, so there were 3 issues with this game, and I actually have an article right here. It says, a controversy in 3 parts. Arsenal have been robbed, says Sky Sports pundit Izzy Christensen. This is a summary of the 3 second half incidents. So, second half, still 1-0. In the 53rd minute, I would say this is the biggest thing that happened. So, off a set piece, off a corner kick, Beth Mead kicks it. Then everything's looking great. Then it goes to Stina, scores a beautiful goal. I mean, could not have been prettier, this goal. Most people are saying, oh my God, what a goal. But the refs seem to have found a problem with this goal because the ref, for some reason, I think I know why, because the way Stina moves her hands, she deems it a handball. And I'll show the pictures, the ball kind of doesn't go anywhere near her hands. It goes to her like stomach, top of her legs, and
the way her arm was like thrown back, it looks like the ball hit it, but it didn't. It was like some weird force field or something. I don't know. It's more like a crotch shot.
Yeah.
It's more like a pelvic shot.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's more like a stomach shot or something,
Right. And most people are saying, well, there's a couple problems. Number one, if the ref wasn't sure it was, then how can you call it? B, generally when a handball happens, the other team will protest and say, handball, raise your hand. Not one Chelsea player protested or raised their hands. And then that goes back. Does this mean there needs to be VAR for all WSL matches? Because a lot of people are still on the side of it doesn't need VAR. VAR sometimes causes more problems than good. The problem is they need better refs. That's what they're saying. The problem is better refs because even if it goes to VAR, VAR is a actual person. But I think with that, the VAR in the booth can go look at it, slow motion, replay it. You get what I'm saying? So it's not a point of that VAR ref is going to be, that VAR ref will have more information than the one on the field. But I would say most people, I think from all the pundits and whatnot, they're saying they want VAR in the WSL. Even Renée Slegers had an interview after the match and she said, do we need VAR? My answer right now would be yes, we need VAR.
It's really hard to see, and if you say for me in retrospect, watching it on video, being able to pause, it's hard for me to see. It's really hard for the referee on the pitch in action to see as well. It's a game where you see momentum shifts and Chelsea are on top of us at the start of the game, but we come back and we show such mentality in the game and so much quality. But you see, it's fine margins. So then certain decisions become really big decisions, which are out of our hands. But if you would ask me the question now, are you in favor of VAR? I would say yes.
So something like that would be overturned in the NWSL like that. Obviously, it's not a handball. It wouldn't even be called. They would go maybe to VAR, to the ref, and then they would have, you know what I mean? So I think I'm team VAR no matter what, but I can see the downfalls of it too. But along with that, they still need better refs. You know what I mean?
Well, for now, in the meantime, I think send the refs back to ref school and, so they can improve on that.
Which is so funny because when we talked about that game that happened against Portland and San Diego, they went to VAR for that handball. And the VAR ref said, I don't believe that to be a handball. Yes, it touched her hand, but it was in a position that was maybe natural or she couldn't have, it wasn't deemed a handball. So it is tricky, but a situation like this where it literally hits her stomach or her upper leg, that's obviously not a handball. So that's really frustrating, and especially in such an important game. Okay, so that was number one. Then the second thing that kind of happened was in the 87th minute, Alessia Russo scored a beautiful goal. Poked it in there. It was right there. It was beautiful. Happy, that was the equalizer, but people are saying that wasn't a goal. It was offsides basically. And people are saying, well, did the refs kind of say, oh, we kind of effed up the first time, so we're going to give her this goal because it really wasn't a handball? Because people are saying the first goal shouldn't have counted. The first goal should have counted. This one probably shouldn't have, but we'll take it. We got screwed.
They cancel each other out. So
yeah, that's what people are saying. So people are saying at 87 minutes, that wasn't a goal. Then the last thing that happened wasn't as controversial, I don't think. But in the 90th minute, it looked like Frida Maanum had given Arsenal the go-ahead goal. Because 90th minute, it doesn't get more exciting than at the very end of the game. goes in, scores a beautiful goal. She was pumped. The whole team, I mean, she's like, I did it. We did it. And at this point, the flag is still down. It took the flag, the line judge, 10, 15 seconds after the goal to say, okay, yeah, that was offside.
It's wild.
And then people are saying they don't even think it was offsides. They think by the naked eye because they don't have the VAR. They don't have like the touch line or any of the electronic means to decide these things. People, and Renée Slegers was not happy. Here's a video. But basically said that was, and it says right here, Freedom Maanum has a potential winner disallowed for offside, an extremely tight decision that looked wrong to the naked eyes. So I guess I don't know that. They might have some type of a technology, or if it's literally just by that line judge, their decision. But they're basically saying it looked wrong based on the naked eye. So a lot of people are saying they still think that was actually a good goal. So this was kind of crazy.
Crazy weekend for soccer.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess the question is VAR, no VAR. Renée Slegers, like I said, did an interview saying, yeah, she thinks at this point VAR needs to be, I even see this, VAR in football. This is one of the accounts I saw on TikTok. VAR and this person right here says VAR and WSL, no thanks. So this person, I don't know, they're a WSL fan, and they said they don't think VAR should be in the WSL. This weekend has seen yet more strange decisions made by officials, leading many calling for VAR to be introduced in the WSL. But for me, we do not need VAR in the WSL. It is frustrating when referees make poor decisions, of course, but I don't think VAR is the answer. VAR micromanages the games and takes away a lot of the joy from football. But also VAR has made wrong decisions in the past because most decisions from it is down to a referee's discretion. And that's true too. The VAR is video assisted referee, which means they have more input, but they can still make a bad decision. Countries like Norway have introduced VAR, but protests have led to them scrapping it altogether. I did not realize that.
I would rather the WSL officials were full-time and given more training. A professional league should have professional officials.
Yeah, and I saw that a lot. And then this person still says VAR drains a lot of life out of the men's game. And I don't want that to happen to the women's game. Because you could see in the NWSL, sometimes these decisions take a long time. There's a lot of waiting around. It's what's going on. I don't agree with that. So I can see both points. I think I'm team VAR, maybe because we watch the NWSL every week, and I rather get the decision right. But even the game against Portland and San Diego, a lot of people, even the commentators, said that wasn't the right decision with VAR. So it's tricky. Then someone goes, were Arsenal robbed against Chelsea? And someone goes, clearly no handball, but it wasn't a corner. Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to say. Most people were saying, a lot of people were saying, I don't know if Chelsea fans or I don't know in general, that corner that led to the handball wasn't even a corner to begin with. So it was a bad decision that led to the Arsenal corner. Then Arsenal got the corner scored, and then another bad decision. I mean, this is anarchy. This isn't malarkey. This is, I don't know.
This is left is right, right is left.
Also, I think we're going to read it in the comment. Vic Palova had a really aggressive tackle, I believe, on Kira Walsh. And people were saying that tackle should have been a red card. Maybe if it went back to VAR, it would have been a red card. Now, I don't necessarily think everyone thinks that, but a large percentage of people thought that should have been a red card. So that was another thing. If she would have gotten the red card, then the game would have been different again. But then people are saying 1-1 was a fair result in the end, but VAR needed to be in the NWSL ASAP. So this is a person, unlike the other person who says no VAR, but this person says yes, VAR. So that's crazy. After the match, actually, when all the players go to the officials and they shake hands or whatever, you could see some of the Arsenal coaches going over to the officials. And one in particular, Kelly Smith, I saw it on TikTok. If I find the video, I'll post it. She was not happy. She was yelling at the officials or giving a piece of her mind saying this is what kind of, they always say shithosiery in the WSL or in the UK. What kind of shithosiery was this?
Can they card you after the game?
Yes, they can. Oh, no. They can. I don't know how much longer after the game, but I've seen it where they have carded. Okay, I'm just going to go to comments. I'll have Sara read them. We'll kind of talk about them after we read them.
That referee has something on Arsenal. She is always like this, even last season against Man United at the Emirates. The They're keeping tabs on the ref.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these refs, just like in the NWSL, just like all over the country, it's the same ones. But some people think that certain refs like certain teams and, you know, are biased, even if it's like subconscious bias.
That ref was in the different dimension. I'm surprised she didn't blow offsides on Russo's goal. Her decisions were so bad today. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't go offsides because based on the other one being offside, which was kind of weird. Someone goes, was that with handball? And someone goes, no, that wasn't a handball. So they go, no, but not a corner in the first place. People are saying even if it wasn't a handball, they should have never gotten the corner to begin with. This is what someone said.
Me, when I have 13 years experience as a ref but accidentally confuse arms and legs.
Yeah, and I think with VAR that would not happen, but it's VAR. Does WSL want VAR, you know? And then someone goes, easy mistake to make. I get arms and legs confused sometimes too.
Hey, it happens.
I know. Oh, I like this. These are kind of jokesters, but this is funny, I think.
I think the reason Stina's always offside is there must be a second set of hands somewhere on her body.
Because it's like, I guess what you have to tell your players now, hey, don't react like it's a handball with your hands in a certain way. You know what I mean? Yeah. The coaches are going to be like, they might call a handball. So you cannot do any movement that would make it look like it touched the hand, which is crazy because either it touched the hand or it didn't, you know? Never should have been a corner in the first place. No hand there. No way this is a handball. I hope the ref's pillow is hot on both sides tonight. She has the most terrifying dreams ever. Oh no.
Don't worry. I think the calls will come and haunt her in her dreams.
And then someone's just talking about the game in general.
First Arsenal goal was from a corner that never was. The equalizer was a yard offside. And Palova's studs up tackle should have been a blatant red card. So think it should be Chelsea feeling hard done by, plus the fact that they were missing 5 first team regulars.
So someone brought up the red card Palova should have maybe gotten. Russo, then someone goes, Russo goal was offside, evened itself out, kind of like you had said. And then someone goes, Chelsea's extra player as usual, because a lot of people think the refs are on Chelsea's side. No matter what, the refs on Chelsea's side. But I don't know.
This comment says, Stina's goal should have stood if VAR was available. Palova would have been sent off, Russo's goal should have been disallowed, and Maanum's goal was a 50-50 call that could have gone either way with VAR. In short, the WSL really needs VAR. And this other comment says, WSL clearly needs VAR. It's frustrating, but at least it's factual, unlike bad officiating. It took the NWSL a season to kind of get the hang of it, and now I can't imagine the league without it. I'm so tired of waking up at 7 a.m. to watch these games.
Yeah, and I think as Americans, I think we like VAR as much. They're actually talking about doing... So in the AI, no, they're trying the home plate umpire in baseball. There's not going to be a home plate umpire. It's going to be a pitch decider computer that will decide in baseball, which I'm sure people will be happy about. Chelsea will be happy. They got away with, again, playing average for 70 minutes. Officials were awful. Thought Russo's goal was more offsides than Maanum's, and Stina's goal, nothing wrong with it. Yeah, so people are saying allowing Russo's goal but not Maanum's when Russo's was more offside than Maanum if it was. Nothing like robbery. Arsenal is just shit. Well, I don't know if that was good or bad. Okay. And then someone goes, I need us, this is a City fan, to capitalize on the results from today. And that's actually what happened. City beat Everton, I believe. And now City are in lone first place. So is this going to be City's year? I mean, right now, I haven't looked at the schedule, but they really did capitalize on it. I like this. The whole game should have been replayed. The decision making was awful.
I wonder if that's ever happened in the history of soccer. They're like, let's say they're halfway in. Okay, let's just start the game over completely because the calls have been bad.
Absolutely brilliant, girls. Well done. And then said, congrats on the 3-1 win. WSL needs VAR ASAP. We deserve a win today. Yeah. I think a lot of people... Okay, and here's a Chelsea fan saying, hey, some goals maybe... This is a Chelsea fan, and this Chelsea fan actually doesn't seem happy.
We didn't deserve to draw this game, let alone win it. Absolute shambolic performance, and that equalizer showed it all. Midfield has no control whatsoever, while we have new skin on the bench the whole game. Millie Bright so determined to cause a goal today. Don't get why she still starts. She's been so bad lately. Anyways, glad the unbeaten run continues.
Yeah, so even Chelsea fans, I think some Chelsea fans were frustrated because they did play well, and then they don't feel like their team played well. But I don't know. I wanted to put a comment on the other side. But what does everyone think? Basically, VAR or no VAR. This is another Chelsea fan. I've been biting my tongue the entire season. But what are we doing? We can't win the Champions League like this. Yeah, so a lot of Chelsea fans are saying, hey, I know we're trying to win league here, but we're trying to win Champions League. Now Chelsea aren't even in first place anymore. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans were disappointed with those two calls in particular. But yeah, the wrapping is kind of crazy. Basically, VAR or no VAR? That is the question. Yeah.
To be or not to be?
Exactly. What does everyone think? Questions, comments down below. Semi-finals of NWSL, very, very exciting. I mean, I don't think the next round can be quite as exciting as these 4 games were. And then also, Chelsea versus Arsenal is always a classic. I'm not a classic like it was the other day because it was so crazy, but a classic in its own right, I suppose.
Yes.
Questions, comments down below. What does everyone think? We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.